doesn't end well unless it ends. Can't just report the fucking obvious.
I don't care what a critic got to say, I got them picking up the pieces. That mean you really playing with your life, I'm about to come and
Just
run
a
it all back. I'm
motherfucking
the
jump.
new era, about to
Just
snap
go.
back. You ain't fitting.
There we go. I can hear myself now. We didn't do our usual mic check. But here we go. This is the Outlaw Apostle Podcast. I'm your host, Troy Neff. I'm the fucking guy and the other fucking guy trying to make it all happen. Here this morning is Leo. Leo, good morning to you.
Good morning, my brother. How are you doing today?
I am okay. I'm good. I'm still recovering, and I think Dawn is too.
From the competition?
Well, from the competition and just everything that we've done in the last week.
That's
doing our best. We're old. Takes a minute to recover, and we are doing that. I think we were out probably 10:30, 11 o'clock. We tried to watch an episode of Tulsa King.
Okay.
And it didn't go well. About halfway through, we're like, I don't even know if I've seen how much of the first half I've seen. We need to just turn this fucker off. And we did.
Just get ready, get on to the next day.
Speaking of Tulsa King, Landman is back. Landman is the
oil.
shit.
The oil, is it the oil?
Absolutely. It's great. Best Billy Bob Thornton shit ever. Role was made perfectly for him. And he was just on Joe Rogan, too. I want to watch that. But I was watching Joe and Theo was on here in the last few days. They're just funny. Him and Theo together are just a ball. I love that. So, but yeah, Landman, check it out if you haven't seen it. This is season number 3. At least for us, though, like they're dripping it out now on Paramount, like one every Sunday, and that sucks. So we usually just let it build up for a few and watch something else, and then come so we can watch our 3 or 4 in a row. I wish they would just dump them all. I hate that. That's old school. That's old school TV, you know, where you just drip it out once a week. I hate that. Nobody likes it. Nobody likes that anymore, really. At least I don't. So there's a couple for you. That's what we were doing. That's just when we're trying to wind down. Yesterday was second day back at the gym. And it felt, because Dawn went really light last week. In fact, I did something I never do. I took the whole week off. The whole week I was a disher. I had all my clothes packed to work out last week. But the most important thing to me was that little grandbaby. So I took the week off. It had been a year since I've really taken time off. And I was forced to take time off a year ago when I almost died. But so I got to take this time off by choice, not by force. And I feel strong. That happens sometimes. You just feel that little resurgence, and that's good. I'm happy with that. I'm ready to get back at it hard. Dawn, it's gonna take a minute, as she eats, puts some more weight, some more muscle on. She really didn't drop any muscle, so that's great. And we're going to focus on a couple of things for her that she needs to focus on between now and whenever she decides to compete again next year. It probably wouldn't be, probably April, May, I'm guessing. That's my guesses when she'll do something again. And I could see her doing something where there's like a show and then 2 weeks later another show too. Happen. But we'll talk about those things. We're not rushing that talk right now. We're just trying to have what little normal life we have, and our life is anything but normal. We try to have a little bit of that. But I did want to share this one really cool thing. Do we have the Marcus thing that we could share? So let me tell you a little bit about the backstory. I haven't posted this on Facebook or anything yet, but I certainly will. It's absolutely one of the coolest things that a friend has ever done for me. And my friend Mike is a, we just have this really great relationship. We've had struggles here and there, but we've been through a lot of shit together, and we're both rooting for each other. It's just one of the really good male relationships that I have in my life. And I don't know how he didn't know. Like, it's almost impossible to not know, if you're my friend, that I'm a Notre Dame fan, and I've been a Notre Dame fan since I was like 21. So over 35 years, 36 years, I've been a Notre Dame fan. And he just happens to be really good friends with Marcus Freeman, the head coach of Notre Dame. He's known him from his back in the college days. And so what he did was he did this for me and my daughter, who also is a Notre Dame fan, went to Alabama, so she has allegiance to both. In fact, when she was in college at Alabama, I took her to the Alabama Notre Dame game in Miami, the championship game. And Brady Quinn was there. So the baby's name is Quinn, actually from Brady Quinn. That's where she got it. So this was just really cool. It's very short. It's like 32 seconds, and I'm just going to share this because this is just the kind of things that you like to show off, like baby pictures. Like, isn't this cool? Because it's just so fucking cool. I mean, if you don't like football at all, maybe you're not going to think it's cool at all, but this is really cool. There we go. Beginning. And if you want baby Quinn, baby Q might be your nickname. That's what we're all thinking about. Q. If baby Q might head to Notre Dame, we got to talk some NIL money, baby. All right. She's going there for golf or soccer or whatever she likes, whatever she determines that she likes. Because I'm telling you, she's going to be an athlete. I've got that for sure. I think, because her dad's fairly tall, my son-in-law Bobby. So I think she's going to have some height to her a little bit. Maybe, not like a super tall girl, but
Taller
like
than average.
yeah. Not. I'd be surprised if she was like 5'5". You know what I'm saying? But maybe that 5'9", 5'10" kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah. Big dreams. Whatever her big dreams are, Papa is going to do his best to give her that opportunity, as well as her parents, because I know my daughter and Bobby are just super excited and taking it all in now and figuring it out, because that's the only way you can do it. It's a lot like a lot of other things in life that why do people expect to be good at something they've never done before? And it just takes practice, and it just takes work, and you just got to figure it out as you go. And it's not something you can have all the answers to before it happens. You can read, research, or books, or there's those used to be those baby books like that took you throughout the 9 months or whatever, and then after birth, and give you all this great information, and it is good, but nothing teaches you like real life does. Nothing. Something will happen that won't be something that you read, and you just have to figure it out. That's the beautiful part about it, and I'm excited about going back. So I did want to share that video just because it was so fucking awesome. You know what's weird? I was just thinking about this morning. So Alabama's my side team. My main team is Notre Dame, but Alabama, since my daughter went there, and I liked Alabama as a kid too. just because of their history and everything like that they had. It's so interesting how the season started with Notre Dame losing their first two games, and I thought it was done, over, finished. It was over. They had zero chance. Forget about it. And then they fought. They've really just fought back and hard, and seemed to be getting better and better. And but they have the two losses, and then you have Alabama again, high expectations, but we're kind of questioning after last year. You know, is this coach really going to be the guy? And they lose the first game to Florida State, look horrible, and then after that go on this really nice run and play a bunch of top 25 teams. Like I believe they have 4 wins against top 25 teams. And then this past Saturday they lose. And it's kind of weird to me that the fact that I feel like Alabama with their 2 losses is again heading on this downside. I actually at this moment, I don't have a reason for it. I was trying to come up with a reason. Like, why do I feel this way? I just feel like Alabama's on the downswing and they have 2 losses, yet Notre Dame is on the upswing with their 2. We'll see if they can right the ship, but Alabama can afford no more losses as well as Notre Dame. I would be surprised. I'm not saying it couldn't happen, but I'd be surprised if a 3-loss team made it into the 12-team playoff. So, but if any team could pull it out, it might be Alabama. No way does Notre Dame get in with 3 losses. That's just not going to be a thing. But we'll see. Been a lot of fun so far for the season. Been really good. Ups and downs. You're like really up. Your team is good, and then you're like, oh my god. And that's the way it's been. Except for the Cardinals, they just give us a little bit of hope.
Just enough to let you down.
Just enough. And then, but they got spanked on Sunday. It was not close at all. That was nothing good about that. So, let's see. What else do we want to hit? You're working on the Dawn stuff.
Yeah, I got a few stuff up here. I have the interview if you want.
Yeah, let's do that. We did Leo did some great work on Saturday during Dawn's competition. We recorded some things, and I'm going to share that with you. And I was like, what did I do with my hat? But yeah, talking to Dawn backstage, we just wanted to give people an inside look. We got a bunch of stuff, both Dawn and I, to put up on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X. This stuff won't really be on X, but definitely Instagram and TikTok for sure. So do follow that. Check out my social media, and usually through that you can connect to Dawn, and somewhere below, maybe after the show, Leo can dump some links on there for Dawn as well. So you can check her out, follow her. So this was the first one?
The first interview, correct.
The first interview. All right, cool deal. Are at the Whitney Jones NPC Classic in Mesa, Arizona at the Convention Center. And I'm standing with my girlfriend, Dawn Lyons. Check out the YouTube video, the interview. Leo got it up yesterday, so check that up. The Outlaw Apostle Podcast, and follow that, okay? Hit the subscribe button on that. Follow on this as well. We want you guys to participate in this and get a backstage look through my social media pages. You can also find Dawn, especially on Facebook. We'll drop some links here too, so you guys can connect with her, ask some questions. And she's given a really good look and been posting videos and given, a true, honest opinion. And yesterday you were tired.
I was tired yesterday. Very tired. Yes.
And for most of the time, you've really done super, super well. But the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks, you've started noticing more?
1 to 2 weeks. Yep. The last week was really bad, and
Tell us the changes.
um, emotional, crying, just not knowing what to do, wanting to give up. There were two times where I just was going to give up. And,
I'm glad I didn't know that. I'm glad I didn't know that.
I was going through a bad time. It was a bad week, and
Was that because I was gone?
Yeah, it had to be. Yes, of course it was.
No, but you look absolutely fantastic.
Thank you.
Just what you've brought and to do this for your very first time is just elite level. So hats off to you. You know, I was happy to join this journey with you, but somebody can say whatever they want to say, but you put in all the hard work. You know, I just got to watch next to you and give a little guidance here and there, but it was you had to do the work, and you absolutely did. So,
Thank you.
in reference to that, what do you think about that? You know, really, you left no stone unturned in this process, right?
No, there's no regrets. Everything was done
Mhm.
perfectly the way we wanted to. And yeah, we just followed what we thought was right. Some of the
Mhm.
things we got lucky, some of the things we knew, how my body handled it,
Yes.
and it responded very well to most things that we did or changed. So
And
that's
then what
good.
about how Chelsea, you've used opposing coach, you've been going every week, plus you've
Yep.
been practicing at home 30 minutes to an hour for what, 8 weeks, 10 weeks, 8 weeks?
Yep, the last
Every
8.
single day you've been
Yes, I've
practicing
been
the posing.
practicing 30 to 60 minutes every single day.
And could somebody really, could you feel that you'd be at the even close to the same place you are now without having opposing coach?
No, no, she's been
She's been
very,
invaluable to us, I
yes,
think, right?
right, yes, yep, because she's competed before and she knows the rules. She knows the poses and how they're supposed to be. So that has helped me tremendously.
Yes.
Yes.
And having her gives a little bit of a security blanket, I bet, for today, right?
Yes.
You
Yep.
have a lot of support.
Yes.
So many people have come to check this out. Like,
Yeah.
you have your own fan club out there.
Yeah.
Did you ever think you'd have something like that?
No, not really.
It's so much
No.
fun.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
gonna
look at that
enjoy
smile.
this.
Yes. I'm glad
I'm
you
gonna
are.
enjoy it. Yeah,
Well, that's what we want.
yeah.
That's the
It's
thing.
normal to be nervous, but I'm
Uh-huh.
gonna be more excited. So yes, I'm just gonna
Good.
enjoy it, knowing that I've given everything I got. I know what I'm doing, and just go to it.
Check out our social media, the Outlaw Apostle Podcast, Troy Neff on all the different socials. You can find me. And through that, you can also find Dawn Lyons. We will be putting some of Dawn's links below, so you can follow that way as well. Guys, put your comments, what you think about the dedication that it takes and the discipline it takes to really to step on stage and compete. And doing this is 56 years old. 56. All right. God bless. So one of the things there that it just struck me again, watching the video again, is Dawn doesn't wear a lot of makeup ever.
No, I've very, very rarely ever seen her wear makeup.
Very, very light. And then to see that makeup was like, wow. Like she looked totally different to me. And not in a bad way, just in a way that I wasn't used to.
Yeah, no, I get that.
I mean, I still prefer the less because I think she, that comes out. But this pretty much this stuff is just standard for these types of shows and how they wear their jewelry. No necklaces, dangly earrings, and then bracelets typically on each arm. Yeah, so that was really good there, and you were able to get a bunch of stuff really from the whole show to really kind of give people an idea of how the whole process goes and being backstage too. Um, what about that back? What about that next one? That backstage video. That's one I haven't seen actually.
I
How long
believe
is
this
that
is
one?
this is a few seconds. It's right
Yeah.
before she goes up to.
Very cool. Just what everybody's doing. Everybody's getting ready. People running around trying to get people ready to make sure because they try to run this like clockwork. Boom, 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 one after another. And there, I do like the shots from me from behind.
Get a different view.
Got a nice little thick look going on there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I like that one. That's not bad either. But the other big guy in that shot was her son Jack, and Jack too. He enjoyed it. Even now, Jack's a big guy, and he's into powerlifting. He is also one of the owners.
Oh, he's the owner.
One of the owners of the gym, Broken Barbells, back in St. Louis, with Dawn and another partner. But yeah, he does that. He plans on doing some meets again, I guess, pretty soon. But he is a big boy for sure. And but he really enjoyed seeing this because he'd never been to a bodybuilding show before. So just kind of like you know, able to ask questions, find out, see how everything flows and goes, and pretty interesting in that respect too. So what out of the whole thing that we did, what about for you? What was there anything that surprised you, or learning?
There was a lot of things that surprised me.
Yeah.
It just from being in the videography world. I've been to a few events and just like seeing how things are kind of set up and how things are moved around. They're very similar in other like genres of whatever it be. So it was interesting to see how things are run and how similar they are to other events that are completely nothing like related, like the bodybuilding and the fashion. Like there's so many similarities to how the production is ran that I found it really, really interesting.
Yeah, now that you mentioned it, that would kind of make sense. You know, getting people ready for the runway, and then the things you don't see, like what you don't see about Dawn's suit, is that they actually apply a glue.
Yeah,
And
that was
tape and
crazy. I
stuff,
did forget about
you
that.
know,
Yeah.
on her suit. So like, and in the back, because the back, you got this little V strip of cloth, and it actually bunches up a little bit with all these thick sequins and stuff. And so they got to spread it out and, you know, kind of tape it so that you don't see it underneath, and spread it out so that you're getting the best look that you can. Just little things. And I'm 100% sure they do things with the clothes like that for those models. They got it. They have to, right?
to some sort of way. Yeah.
Yeah. Like that. So, but we did enjoy that. What about do we have one on stage, opposing one on stage?
Yeah.
Of her?
One of these should be. Sorry, I kind of have everything a little.
That's okay. That's okay. It's just kind of how it is today.
Want to say.
All right. This is their individual routine.
I believe so. Yes.
Yep.
Oh, this was when she first went up there.
Yeah.
She was a little nervous.
Little nervous.
A little nervousness.
That one was, she'd love to have that one over again.
Yeah, I do remember her telling me after the show was over that after that first one that she definitely felt a lot more comfortable going up on stage after that first initial.
And even here, then when the whole group is out. Now she was in 4 different categories. And her leg definition there is just insane. And the calves. And the one thing, I don't know if anybody picks up on it or not, but the difference between the first video we played and this video was moving of the hair. That was something that, you know, as much as she's practiced and everything, that hadn't happened the first time that she didn't move her hair, and they can't judge what they can't see. But after that, like this, got better. Missed the hair on that one there again. But the other 3, in the other 3 classes that she competed in, that definitely made a difference with her moving the hair. I know it seems like something so small detail like that, you
So
think, well, aren't they judging the body?
you're
Well,
covering up
yeah,
a lot of muscle.
you're covering up a lot of muscle, and she's very well developed in there. And that's just things you get, just your first time in doing that. So yeah, so similar. This one, you'll see it there. She grabs it and pulls it. And we had already talked about it at that point, and it just is what it is. You take it and you roll on. But definitely good competition, and a number of them looked very, very good. So yeah, that's good. So just thought we'd share that with you. And again, it was really a great experience overall for Dawn, for me, and the whole process. And I know when I did that, and I know when I did the 75 hard, which took me 83 days to do, it was a really big deal. That gave me, even though I'm confident, even though I'm confident, you just feel like you can do anything when you go through those struggles. That you're going to have those times, like she said she had, where she wanted to quit in the last week twice, but she didn't quit, and she got up there and she hit it. And the other interesting thing, I might have mentioned it on Monday, but the lady that was 60 years old, and she was the only one up there, and was still great
That was
because
crazy. She
yeah,
did an amazing job,
yeah,
by the way.
and that just shows you that how rare what that woman is doing at 60 is, because there's only one of her there, you know. And I realize most people, when they don't want to necessarily compete, they just want to look good naked. And we're all about that, and helping our clients look good naked. It's kind of a little bit of a motto, but the principles are the same. So the same principles that bodybuilders use in retaining muscle and losing fat can be used by anybody that wants to go through a body transformation, increasing the protein, whether it's natty or enhanced, either way. You still got to put in the work. And it really just shows that you're just going to stop at you're going to stop at a point before you get to this. If this isn't your goal, there's other things you have to continue to sacrifice to get to this level, to stand on this stage, and to just lose weight and add some muscle and look good naked. The sacrifices are going to be there, but not to the same extent. And like I said, I think most people, they think of a weight. Oh, I remember when I was this weight. I want to be that weight again. I can tell you, I've been the same weight a number of different times. I remember being 208 and being like chubby, 36-inch waist, probably, and I was stretching the 36-inch pants. And then I've been that same weight, 208, and been a 33-inch waist and looked totally different. And then during COVID, I've shown that before, where I'm 197 pounds in the middle of February, and in September 15th, I'm also 197 pounds. So a 7-month period, and I look like two totally different people, and yet I'm the exact same weight. So more than just weight, what we want people to also focus on is what you look like visually, what your ideal look is like, not just the weight. And that can really help you get there. And then the techniques that we used. We did not count calories every single fucking day. In fact, we didn't count calories at all. We counted protein. And so how did we determine that she was in a calorie deficit? All you have to do is see the progress pictures on her social media to see. we knew that she was in a deficit because she was adding muscle and losing weight, and we were stepping on the scale. And the body fat percentage it was showing us was not accurate until we got and did the DEXA scan. That was accurate. Then we were able to compare, okay, so on this scale, it says I'm 19. The DEXA, which is true, says we're 13. Now you kind of know where you're really at. So when the 19 goes to 17, you know that 13 is probably under 11. And that's how we did it, is making adjustments based on that feedback of information. And you'd have to still do that even if you counted calories, because the counting of calories is going to be off no matter how accurate you try to be, no matter what app you use. You know, my fitness app is one that people use, but it doesn't matter. It's going to be off because what's on the packages is off. And the government allows them to be off by 20%. So that's why it's so important to, have a method that works. And, I've talked to people in the past week, that would rather not get on the scale every day. But that really is the best, especially for women, because if you get on it every so often, you're not going to be able to really track it. You're not going to be able to average it out. And because women fluctuate, because of holding water, that time of month, different things like that, if you get on the scale on a bad day and you don't get on a scale for another week, you're just going to be thinking about that. Where if you have one odd day that you're 2.5 pounds heavier than any other day during the week, you know that was bullshit. That was just water. Nobody loses 2.5 pounds in a fucking day of real fat or real muscle. That doesn't happen. But water, it does. Water weight does. So that's why it's so important to do that. And I think, with what Dawn has done, she's going to be able to help more people as she's been trying to, and, helping her through that process, coming up with the plan. I helped her get there. I'm going to use this when people want to question, credentials. You know what my credentials are? That's my credential. Or myself and what I've been able to do over the years as well. And just being just regular people. Dawn had never thought really or was ever really serious about competing until she moved here. And for most of my time lifting, anytime I thought about it, I thought about one of my best friends, Dave Sharp, and I didn't want to do what he did. I wanted to be in really good shape, but not that good, because I knew what it took to get there, and I didn't want to do it. Now, since that time, having done it, and also knowing that I could do it even better, that's why I'm so proud of Dawn. She did better than I did in her prep than I did in mine. But I also had figured some things out during mine that I was able to pass along to make hers better. And we'll be able to do that again, because I know she used the word perfect in there. But the honest truth is, probably one of the biggest things that we would change is we never increased her cardio. Ever. Through the whole process, we wanted to save it for the end and use it then if we needed to. And then we didn't use it at the end. And looking back on it now and how she was feeling and mindset and everything, we should have done that. We should have added the cardio for one reason, so we could have increased the amount of food she was taking in. That's why. And that would have been a good thing. That would have been a good thing to do. So, yeah, just it's about progress, not perfection, and just trying to keep being better. And as long as she wants to continue to do that, I'll be here for her in that process. I will tell you, I've had some issues the last couple of years. After I last competed, I had double hernia surgery. Then, and I had a third hernia they didn't fix, and I still have hernia issues today. Then I fucked up my knee last summer. Been dealing with that. I'm still not at full strength in my knee and lifting. And then last fall, a year ago, with the COVID and COVID almost taken me out with the heart issues that it gave me. But I'm fully recovered from those heart issues. But it just, for me to think about doing something like this in the last couple of years, it just wasn't something that was in the cards for me. But now that that's behind me, and then going to the show and seeing that and seeing the other competitors there, I got to be honest. I saw some people that are like, I can be better than that, or I was better than that last time, and I can be better than I was last time. So it kind of gave me a little bit of an bug, an itch that I might want to do that again as well. And maybe it'll be something that Dawn and I do together, enter the same show together. And that might make the, then I wouldn't be allowed to eat desserts in front of her like I did. I tried to be as good as I could about that. I kept that at a minimum. But I know she's looking forward to going out to eat at the nice places we go and getting that nice dessert at the end. But we build that into our food plans, basically. And it does work. So thanks for all the support from everybody in this. We're going to keep posting more on social media. People will probably get sick of it. But that's on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and X, especially TikTok and Instagram for this kind of stuff. We did put most of it up till now on Facebook. Just time-wise, I didn't get to put it on TikTok like I wanted, but I still will. There's just so much. It's just been so much stuff that it's almost been overwhelming, but we'll get that done for you. So appreciate that. So along with this is women's sports. We still, I can't believe that since the election, we're still talking about this same shit when it comes to trans athletes. I thought voters spoke pretty loud in saying that they wanted to be done with this. One of the other things we've heard over the last couple of years is these 80-20 issues where 80% of the people agree, and being on that 80% side is pretty good. But this particular one goes far beyond that. Almost 95-5. Very, very few, okay? Very, very few people. This is such a minority that are still fighting for this stuff. We don't know. It's just frustrating as to why. But this I found, this was a top education official from Michigan, and they were being questioned at a hearing in Michigan at one of their state representatives. And it's only a minute long, but just see how the person reacts and how they respond to these questions.
You have in educating our children. And the reality is that there's lots of things in this proposed guidelines that do not line up with the beliefs of parents. And they do not believe it is the role of the government, which, by the way, you are, to dictate these kinds of things. Things like you said, the science of gender. How many genders are there? How many genders are there?
Different people have different beliefs on that.
Well, you can believe all you want, but science says there's two. So why is it that we believe we have to put this indoctrination into our you can believe whatever you want, and that's perfectly okay. And any parent can believe whatever they want, and that's perfectly okay. And any politician can believe whatever they want, and that's perfectly okay. But why are we putting it in the curriculum to educate our children about that? What's the reason behind that?
That was it? I guess, yeah. Go towards the end to see if that was.
can believe whatever they want, and that's perfectly
Yeah,
okay.
this was a short
But why
version.
are
There
we
was
putting
more
it in
to
the
this.
Let's see if I could probably find it here.
Yeah, because
That
she
was
kind of stumbled on that too. But basically, you just look at, the little smirk on her face and everything, and you're just like, geez, oh, Pete, honestly. Why is it that we can't just come to an agreement on this kind of thing? And this was actually surprised me. This was just in the news today. Former MSNBC anchor Joy Reid admits she'd freak out if she saw male genitalia in a woman's locker room. Because there was that story last week about the woman who, or maybe it was the week before, there was a woman, her last name was Hyman, which was really funny because the whole thing. But this woman, a lesbian, was at Gold's Gym and ended up getting thrown out of Gold's Gym because she complained about a man being in the women's locker room. And you know who's fighting for this black lesbian woman? Conservatives. Conservatives. It's insane how this is like. And she had some good remarks after that. She confronted someone, some representative that she confronted that was really good too. I never told you about that or got that clip. That's on me. But it's just the point of the matter that even lesbian women do not want to see men's dicks in the locker room. It just shouldn't be a thing. If you want to make arrangements for someone, I get it, but I just keep coming back to the same thing. You're playing dress up, and that's okay. I don't care if you dress up. It doesn't affect me. I don't care what you do. But it does. I do care when you're in the locker room with my granddaughter. I do care if you're in the locker room with my daughter. I do care if you're in the locker room with your dick hanging out and with my wife or my girlfriend. Okay, I do care. Those things I care about. And women don't want it, and we're choosing this small group instead of protecting girls, not just in the locker room, but in sports in general. You have the rest of that now, it looks like?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead. Yeah, we got no sound.
Any politician can believe
There
whatever
we go.
they want, and that's
And up a
perfectly
little bit.
okay. But why are we putting it in the curriculum to educate our children about that? What's the reason behind that?
The reason behind it is that we find that children who are gender diverse are being harassed, bullied in school. We can't make education gains if students feel unsafe.
Wouldn't disagree with you on that. Completely agree that we have to keep our children safe. But are you saying that by you providing this education on gender fluidity or multiple gender theory, are you saying that what that will do is it will stop those kinds of behaviors in school?
The standards point to understanding tolerance, inclusivity, and based on what we know from Massachusetts, it has made a difference.
It's more important to protect a couple trans students in school system versus the hundreds of girls that are there. That just makes no sense to me whatsoever. And I also want to know, how does a fourth grader or a fifth grader make a determination about gender? How is a fourth grader or a fifth grader able to make that kind of determination about themselves? I just don't see how that's even possible. What's being told to that child by the parent or other people in that child's life? I don't know how that even happens, or what that even entails, what that even means. It's obviously, if a child comes to you that at that age and seems somewhat confused, uh, why wouldn't we have them talk to a professional? Why would that not be a thing? That to me would seem to be like a first step or something that you would do, because I think they would be able to maybe get at from that child what's making them think that that's possible for them. Why are they questioning themselves in that way? And I'm not saying it's wrong for the child to question. I'm just asking to find out what else is going on. What else is the root of this? Because it doesn't seem to me like it's something children would think of on their own. Just like children are not born fucking racist. No child has ever been born a racist. That's a learned behavior from somebody significant in their life that they heard, again, from someone else. Because that's not a child's instinct. I've seen it. Having my daughter be in a school system that had 40 different, kids that represented 40 different fucking countries. Literally everybody was represented. You'd never seen a more diverse school than the country day school that my daughter went to. And I can tell you, there were no, at least at the younger level, I never saw any as they got older either in that particular school, but there were no issues about the kids and race and how the kids interacted with each other, how they were friends with each other, who wanted to spend time at whose house and go over there. Everybody freely. Every race was welcome, because we just didn't think of it that way at our home. And my daughter was welcome to go to any of her friends' houses. Race was just not an issue. And there would be a great mix of all different kinds of kids, because that's just kids. They didn't, as I said, racism is learned. It is not something that somebody is born with. So I think that with this, we just have to ask those questions. And if you decide to make that choice, and I really wish that we could get to an agreement where, anybody can dress however they want. But if we're going to start messing around with hormones and body changes, that should be an 18 and over thing. Don't tell me my kid can't make a decision about a tattoo at 14, because they can't. The earliest a kid can get a tattoo, and it depends on the state, is 16, usually with a parent's permission, right? But a child can't make, they're not able to make that decision about a tattoo. And I know some people don't like the comparison. I don't care. It's a good one. Why is that? They can't make that decision, but they can make a decision about mutilating their body parts? That just, let me throw it this way. Were you ever asked in school what you wanted, like, I don't know, fourth grade, third grade, fifth grade? I don't know. Were you ever asked, Leo, what you wanted to be when you grew up, or asked to even write a paper, on what you wanted to be when you grew up?
I'm sure
Yeah.
it's a
Do,
pretty
do,
common topic. Yeah.
yeah, I think there was a thing that I wrote. I think I said I wanted to be an attorney. So it probably wasn't fourth grade because no fourth grader is going to think
Wants
of
to be
attorneys,
yeah.
right? But people think of being a fireman or whatever. Do you remember what you thought of being when you got big or something you'd like? You don't remember?
Nah,
Okay.
I never really had it.
Okay.
Like goals like that.
Yeah, but it's still common to be asked. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And people change their minds. Even if we go older, let's talk about college kids. College kids don't know what they want to do yet. How many college kids? What's the percentage of college kids
It's like
that change their
78.
major?
It's like 70 plus. I want to
Is
say.
that what it is?
I remember it being
it's
pretty
a big
high.
number, right? And then on top of it, whatever degree somebody does get in college, half of them will get a job in something other than in that degree.
Approximately 47 students, 40% of students, uh, change their major.
I would have thought it would be even more. That's
Uh,
still a big number. It's still getting close, pushing half.
around. Oh, sorry. So I misread. That was just by half a semester. By the end of the year, around 80% of students switch for their first year of college.
Wow, 80. And it goes up. So kids go to college. By the end of the first semester, half of them have figured out, yeah, this is not what I want to do. And after the first year, it's a total of 80% of them like, yeah, this isn't for me. 80%. So they don't know what they do because they don't know who they are. They're just figuring out who the fuck they are. But a 14-year-old, a 12-year-old knows what gender they want to be. They can't just be confused. And again, maybe they're not confused. But why make the mistake that's irreversible at that age and let them make that decision as an adult? And it's a good lesson to learn as well, isn't it? Isn't it a good lesson to learn in life? You don't always get everything. You don't always get everything. So you have two friends that ask you to do something with them on a Saturday night. One might be going to a concert. One might be saying, just come over and hang out. And we'll play, games, whatever. You make a decision. There's one thing you're not going to get to do. You may not go to the game, and then later on you find out that some record was broken at that game. You're like, man, I could have been there at that game. That's just life. There's something you don't get it all, man. You make choices. And if you want to make a choice to present yourself as the opposite sex, and especially we're talking about trans girls, so boys who want to be girls, so boy girls, that they don't get to, that if they want to play in sport, they still have to play with the boys. They don't get to switch and play with the girls. That it's not an option. Especially, there's a time, usually around junior high, where this transition happens, because I've seen, again, I've lived it, where there are some incredible athletic girls that can compete with the boys and be even better than the boys. But that changes around junior high. She may end up still being the best girl, but she's not beating the best boy. It's just not going to happen. Not that there's not any boys that she couldn't beat. She's not going to beat the best. And we're talking about the best. She's already the best girl, athlete. So boys have an advantage. We just know the things we argue with. I mean, this is the group of people that want to talk about science all the time, and we're all of a sudden going to ignore the science over how somebody feels. Science doesn't care about somebody's feelings. It really, really doesn't. But yeah, it really surprised me, of all people, Joy Reid. I guess it was on her podcast. Read this, read that. Reid said that seeing male genitalia in a women's locker room would freak her out. I'm alarmed enough when I see a woman with her dangling boobies. If I saw a penis in the ladies' locker room, I would freak out too. You definitely wouldn't want to be in a men's locker room at a gym with guys 70 and over. Those guys let it all hang out, man, and it's dragging the floor. And that's their nuts, not their dick. Like, dude, put on a towel, man. Come on. Nobody wants to see your saggy nuts. I'm a guy, and I don't want to see your saggy nuts either. But in a women's locker room, just not. Reid has criticized conservatives for proposing policies to keep transgender women out of female locker rooms and women's sports. Told her co-host she would have gone to management in that situation. What it's saying is if I turn around and I see a penis in front of me inside of the room, I'd probably go to management and say, wait a minute, why is there somebody in here, a naked man in this room? And that's exactly what happened to that black lesbian. Can you see if you could pull that up? Type in black lesbian. Her name is Hyman. I presume Hyman. And Gold's Gym. Yeah, there you go. That looks like it. Yeah, let's go down to the bottom of that so I can read that. Yeah, just earlier this month, Los Angeles-based singer is calling for a boycott on Gold's Gym after she said her membership was revoked because she sounded the alarms of a biological man inside the women's locker room. Tish Hyman posted a video to social media showing her confront a man wearing a black sweater, earrings, and necklace after he allegedly followed her into the locker room and called her a bitch in a deep voice. Another male gym goer is shown stepping in to confront the man as Hyman chastises him. A female gym worker then approaches and pushes the male gym goer aside as Hyman called for the man's gym membership to be revoked. The female worker then walks away and Hyman follows as the man walks right back into the women's locker room. I am a woman. I have every right to not want a man in the restroom when I'm naked, Hyman yelled. And again, there's also, Tish Hyman, there's also a video of her confronting, it was a candidate. Was the candidate Wiener? Dude, it's so funny. Everybody was making jokes about this. Hyman and Wiener. So put that up there. Hyman and Weimer video. Or Tish Hyman confronts Wiener. Yeah. Tish. Yep. Tish Hyman confronts candidate Wiener. I think that he's the candidate for Nancy Pelosi's seat. Yeah, there we go. Go to that top one. Okay, that was good. Yeah. It looks like that has a video of it. Yeah, go ahead and play that one. So this is not long after she had this experience that she confronts State Senator Wiener.
Bills. And like you said, there are bills that need to be opened up, and I'm telling you now, millions of women across America are being harassed and sexually assaulted in locker rooms. I'm a lesbian black woman. I'm not transphobic. I'm not homophobic. And I do respect a lot of the things you've done. But I do see a lot of these bills that you've passed that are dangerous for women and young children. And I understand that you're trying to be on a level playing field. And I'm here to represent my community because I hear a lot of things about my community in these bills. And I'm telling you as a woman, first and foremost, that this is dangerous and we need your help because you're in the office, you're going to go in the Polisky spot. I want to support you. I have millions of people behind me watching this right now, and we want to know, are you going to protect women? Not trans women, women. Trans women are different things. Women. Listen, we need to protect women's safety. I was assaulted. I was assaulted. No, they are not. They are men. I was assaulted by one. He broke his wife's jaw so bad she needed reconstructive surgery. I'm a lesbian. I'm not transphobic and I'm black. So if there's another black woman in here who wants to tell me how they feel, please join in. But all of you are not. And I don't know who you are, what you are, but I'm a lesbian and I'm telling you right now, men are harassing women in the locker room. I've read
I don't think anybody could say it better than she did. Honestly. I support her 100%. It's just ridiculous. Just ridiculous. It's just gotten out of, for a handful of people, it's just gotten out of control. Do what you want to do. But there are going to be some things like that just you can't do. You're not going to be able to play in men's sports. You're just not. And maybe someday there will be enough of y'all that you can put together a team. I don't know how that would actually work or happen, but maybe it's possible. Or maybe you have to focus on other things because you're saying this is so important to you. Well, if it is, then other things have to be let go. We all make those decisions in life. I'm choosing this, and these other things I would really like, I really can't do them because this is the most important to me thing right now, and I have to focus on, and I can't do them all. You can't have it all. And nobody's trying to bash somebody over it or anything like that. If you're an adult, do what the fuck you want. But if you're an adult male wearing women's clothes, stay out of the bathroom. And we've been talking about this how many years now that this is still a thing. It should not be a thing. It should not be a thing that there are still girls who are being treated poorly and not getting medals that they deserve and have worked and have earned because of this issue. And also those girls being attacked for wanting to compete against other girls. That's what Title IX was all about. Title IX was all about giving girls opportunity. And Democrats used to believe in Title IX. They did. Doesn't seem like that anymore. Doesn't seem like that anymore. So, yeah, those kind of went together a little bit. So, everybody's talking about Trump and the Epstein files. It was passed in both the House and the Senate. It's on Trump's desk. I don't know if he signed it yet. He's not going to wait to sign it. He will. But as I understand it, it's still not going to be released right away. Because I think the Justice Department still has to black out certain names and stuff yet. So I don't know how long this is going to take. I think it's total bullshit. These survivors or whatever, they've been out there. There's no reason that if they've put themselves out there that the name should be redacted. They want you to know who they are. They've stood behind, a number of these survivors have stood behind a number of different congressmen while the congressman was making speeches. They've been in documentaries. So, with that being the case, why are we protecting those names? They've already put it out there. We shouldn't be doing that. And then the Democrats did that in a way that we talked about on Monday, did that in a way to make something look bad when it really wasn't at all. And we knew who the name was. And so that got exposed. Interesting enough, though, there is more stuff that's come out, and there's also things that have been released from the Epstein estate, as I understand it, emails between him and many other people, or text messages or conversations, what have you, that I don't know if the FBI ever had possession of that. I don't know. I know that there were a number of people that said that they didn't go deep enough in digging when he was prosecuted the first time. But he was convicted back in the 2000s. And I don't remember, is that 2008? Was that when it was? So and as far as I know, maybe this will show differently. I don't know that whatever relationship Trump had with him, I think it was pre 2008. But a number of people and a number of Democrats had a relationship with Jeffrey Epstein post 2008. After he had been convicted already, being a sex offender, but before what happened in 2018, 2019, when he was being charged again and held in jail. So in between there are people that had relationships with him, strong relationships, and one of those was a former Clinton official, Larry Summers. Larry Summers has served in the government. He's a professor and high up at Harvard, and he's stepping back after conversations that he had with Epstein were revealed. He's also on the board of OpenAI and is stepping down from that. And it was just interesting to me. I don't think there was an outcry for him to do this. Maybe there would have been, and he was just taking preemptive action. But, he came out pretty quickly and has said he's going to take himself out of the limelight here, or public life in that way. So then there was a female congressman who was receiving text messages for him. Now, she was a representative from the Virgin Islands, and they don't get to vote. But she does get to participate in committees and meetings and ask questions and that kind of stuff. And she was actually doing that. She was actually messaging with Jeffrey Epstein. She got a message from him, and she responded and was going back and forth with him when that committee was interviewing Michael Cohen, Trump's former attorney. And it just seems like, well, what I've gotten so far from it, and if you've gotten something else, drop it below, share, let us know what you think of this. But what I've gotten so far is there was a relationship before Epstein was ever convicted, even the first time, between him and Trump. And however you want to define that relationship and how close or not close that was, there was something there. And that ended. And we all know about Trump kicking him out of Mar-a-Lago. And it also being said by the survivors' attorneys, I believe, is that Trump was the only one to cooperate to help with the case against Jeffrey Epstein. And what we find out in all of the latest stuff that's been released so far is that Jeffrey Epstein then really disliked Trump. He hated Trump. And so if Epstein had something, right, why didn't he use it? People were asking for it. Democrats didn't use it. So it's going to be interesting to follow this and continue to see how this plays out. But at least for now, I think we know that there were people that were involved and likely involved in activities that involved trafficking of these women, and it just was not just an Epstein thing, and that he hated Trump. And for as much as they've tried to connect Trump to him with certain wrongdoing, that still has not happened yet. Still has not happened. So up to now, like, there's no smoking gun yet. And you got Democrats and people online trying to blow the smoke and turn it into a fire. It hasn't happened. And we'll see if it does, you know. One other thing I wanted to hit real quick, as I thought it was interesting. Was it on here? Mamdani. This was, yeah. Nope, that wasn't the one. Oh, here it is. I got it. Was this the right one? Trump official fires back at Dems Epstein. No, that's not what I wanted. I want the Mamdani seeks $4 million. Why is it not coming up? That's crazy. Well, it didn't. I'm not able to pull it up. It's just giving me a pain in the ass.
Is it this that you're looking for?
Yeah, I wasn't able. Good job. Nice job. So just the headline alone, and we'll get into it, but just look at the headline alone. NYC Mayor-elect Mamdani asks supporters for $4 million to fund transition, vows no wealthy donors. Let that sink in a minute. So let's go into the text. New York Mayor-elect Mamdani is appealing to supporters for donations as he prepares to take office. Hope very soon to not have to ask you for money, but until then, I'm asking you to go to transition2025.com. Give whatever you can. The incoming mayor explained that the transition operations do not qualify for public matching funds, unlike campaign contributions. Now, unlike the campaign transitions do not get public matching funds from the city, so the 8-to-1 match gone. It's up to us to raise money. Usually campaigns take that as an opportunity to rely on wealthy donors, but that's not us. Self-described Democratic socialist. We need to raise $4 million in total, so January 1 can be the day we start to deliver, not start to prepare. I don't know what they really need for. What's the $4 million for a transition? Apparently, he's raised $1 million so far. Average donation, $77. We have to vet 50,000 resumes, as we have to plan not just our inauguration, but policy implementation. Anyways, he's asking for money. And what's really odd to me is this is supposed to be the guy that's for the little guy. He's for the broke person or the broke young people who cannot afford the rents in New York City, who are struggling to pay their bills, struggling to put food on the table. And how he wanted to change things is he wanted to take money from the wealthy. He wanted to increase taxes on the wealthy, and specifically white wealthy people. He wanted to do that. So he wants to take money from the white people and distribute it to people that have lesser means. But his first act after being elected mayor is to ask the poor people for money that they don't have, because he doesn't want to take money from the wealthy people because then he might owe them. But he's going to tax them anyways, and they're the ones that have the money. It just seems odd to me that he's asking for the money, or maybe it doesn't even dawn on these people how ridiculous that is, to ask the people who are struggling the most, that you say what you want to help the most, with grocery stores run by the city that you want to give free transit to, that you expect them to pony up the $4 million. That's just absurd. I don't know. What do I know? I'm just some podcaster nobody listens to. So there we go. Last thing I'm going to touch on. I don't know what to do with this, people. But I'm going down the rabbit hole. Leo, I'm going down the Candace Owens rabbit hole. She's pulled me in, man. She has produced and explained things in such a way that just, it's drawing me in. It's sucking me in, dude.
Okay.
Because I think I'm just not a part of the club, the Republican club, that wants to now tear down Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson. I'm just not there. I'm just not willing to do that. I've never been anti-Israel in my life. I'm not anti-Semitic. Oh, let's talk about that for a minute. This just happened recently. Dave Portnoy, right? Did we talk about that Monday? Did we talk about Dave Portnoy on Monday? We did, didn't we? With
yes, we
the
did.
fuck the Jews. Well,
Yep.
it just goes in with this whole thing. I would never say fuck the Jews. I would pretty much never say fuck whatever group of people like that. I will say fuck you as an individual. That I will do, but not as a group of people. But the fact that somebody did that and they were charged with a misdemeanor, that should not be a thing. In fact, it's not a thing. And whether you're a Democrat or a Republican, they should speak out and say, this is exactly why we have the First Amendment. The First Amendment protects speech you don't like, and that is definitely speech I don't like. But it's not speech that rises to the level of, yelling fire in a theater, or, or something to cause somebody harm, or inciting people to violence. It's not that saying fuck somebody or fuck a group is not. Nope. That's not it. You're allowed to do that, even if it's dumb. Now, if people don't want to engage with you or do business with you, if that's exposed that you own a certain store and you said that and that was made, people have the right to not go wherever they want to go based on that kind of stuff. Sure, he can be punished in that way, but punished by the government, even something as little as a misdemeanor. Now, that's everybody should be speaking up, including Dave Portnoy, including people of Jewish heritage, should be willing to say that that's not, I don't like it, that there is a real anti-Semitism out there. You can even say that there's been an increase in anti-Semitism, been an increase in violence against Jewish people. But you can say those things, but you can't say that somebody's not allowed to say those words. Fuck that certain group. You can't. That's not where we're at. And I'm over this thing, and that's why, the whole Candace and Tucker Carlson is not an anti-Semite. He does not hate Jewish people. I I just am not there with that. That if you criticize and want our government to put our needs first over another government, that includes every other government there is, including Israel. Our number one priority for all people that are in Congress or that are in the administration, the president, everybody around him in the White House, the number one priority should be America first. Period. Not any other country, and that includes Israel. And Israel, we are not perfect. There is no nation that is perfect. Israel is not perfect. They have division in Israel amongst themselves. They don't have a two-party system. They have like 4 or 5 of them. And they got to piece them all together and develop coalitions and things. All Jews do not think alike. But somehow when somebody is not Jewish and they're American and they make a criticism, instantly they're labeled as being an anti-Semite. And I'm just against that. I just am. So I'm just throwing that out there. Like, for some of you that might be interested in that, I've been taking in Candace Owens, a little bit of Tucker, Megyn Kelly. They've tried to get Megyn Kelly to do similar things and to condemn her peers, and she has not done that. And some people that I did like Officer Tatum, I have a problem with how he is so critical of Tucker Carlson, of Candace Owens. And people are saying things that just aren't true, that all you have to do is listen. They're making comments. People are literally saying, well, I don't really watch Candace Owens, but she said, how do you know? You just told me you don't even watch. But there's too many things, you talk about the rabbit hole, dude. Okay, there's this whole thing about Egyptian planes. What if I told you they have the actual plane numbers, like that, kind of like boat numbers you put outside your boat? This, on the tail, they put airplane numbers there. That there's these 2 planes that over the last 5 years were in the same location as Erica Kirk 73 times. The probability of that is like that it's almost impossible that would just happen randomly. You see what I'm saying? That it would be random that would happen. And then, honestly, dude, as much as I love what Charlie did in TPUSA, I would not donate a single penny right now. Not a single one. Not after hearing that they haven't filed everything that they have to file with the IRS. And I believe this is the first time they've missed. That there's like 5 different entities and they filed one form but not the other 4. And then finding out that Charlie wanted to implement like a Doge to kind of go through TPUSA's financial situation and where they were and where money was going and everything, just weeks before he was killed. There's just questions financially about what's going on as well. Why is this money being moved over here? And do donors know about it? Because you have a certain expectation as a donor on how that money is going to be used. Because whoever talked you into giving that money gave you those expectations. If you give us this amount of money, this is what we're able to do with it, right? Yep. So I'm going down that rabbit hole. The thing is, I can't regurgitate it.
I'm
can't-
reading it and I'm like,
Dude, it's so much.
What
It's
the fuck?
overwhelming. And it needs to be done. I'm glad she's asking all these questions. But I would have to devote the podcast to solely that and nothing else like they are to be able to regurgitate that and do that in a right way. But if it's something y'all are interested in, and I do have some interest in it personally, I am following it. I am following it. And I'm just letting you know where I align, where I'm at. I'm still pro-Israel. And I also think that it's the criticisms and the calling of people, calling them Hitler and anti-Semite, which is what Mark Levin is doing. I have really almost no respect right now for Mark Levin. So that's just my opinion on that. So I'm just throwing that out there. All right, that's it, people. That's what I got for today. A little bit of different stuff. Appreciate you so much. We will be back on Friday to wrap up the week. This is the Outlaw Apostle Podcast. I'm your host, Troy Neff. I'm the fucking guy.
Whoa! Who knew I would make it this far? They hated, they never believed me. Yeah, I would never drop the ball. I know I make it look easy. Yeah, Mayweather with the defense. I don't care what a critic gotta say. I got them picking up the pieces. That to me, you really playing with your life. I'm about to come and run it all back. I'm the new era, about to snap back. You